We're continuing on with our percent of change videos, and we've got our formula up here at the top. We find the amount of change over the original, and then we convert it to a percent, which means we can multiply by 100 to get our percent of change. So there's a yearbook example here. Last year, Wesley Middle School sold 174 yearbooks. This year, they sold 200 yearbooks. Find the percent of change. Round to the nearest tenth if necessary, and state whether the change is an increase or decrease. So the original amount last year was 174 yearbooks. The new amount this year is 200. So the amount of change, we're going to have to subtract 200 minus 174, and then we're going to put that over the original amount of yearbooks, which is 174. So 200 minus 174 gives me 26 in my numerator. The amount of change was 26 yearbooks. Over the original was 74. We're going to take this fraction, amount of change over original. We're going to multiply it by 100 to get our percent. So 26 divided by 174 times 100, or move the decimal 2 places. When we do that, we get a big long decimal, 14.94252, and it carries on. But our directions say find the percent of change, we did, round to the nearest tenth. So I'm going to underline my tenths place. The 9 is in my tenths place. I'll look one place to the right. The 4 tells me to stay the same. So the 9 is going to stay, and I get 14 and 9/10%. And then the last part says state whether the change is an increase or decrease. So they went from 174 to 200. It was an increase. So they had a sales increase of 14 and 9/10%. Let's do one more together. This one talks about savings. It says last year Janie saved $240. This year she saved $180. Find the percent of change. State whether the change is an increase or decrease. So originally last year she saved $240. This year her new amount she saved was $180. So first we have to find the amount of change by subtracting. 240 minus 180 equals, should be 60. This is my amount of change. We're going to put the amount of change 60 over the original amount 240. Multiply that by 100 to get my percent. So 60 divided by 240, the fraction bar means divide, times 100 will move our decimal 2 places to the right for us and give us our percentage of 25%. And then we always just have to state whether it's an increase or decrease. This time, our new amount is smaller, and so she saved 25% less, or she had a 25% decrease in her savings. So now that we've talked through and done a couple examples of finding the percent of change, I'm going to challenge you to try these next two on your own. Pause the video and then unpause to see how you did. So hopefully you tried these last two on your own, and now you're watching just to see if you got them correct. The first one, the amount of change, 40 minus 32, was equal to 8. If we put that over the original price of 40 and do 8 divided by 40, we got 2/10. And then if we multiply that by 100 to get our actual percentage, we move our decimal 2 places to the right, we get a 20%. And then always we want to put decrease or increase. In this case, the original price was bigger, so the new price decreased. So this was a 20% decrease in price. On the next one, 25 CDs to 32 CDs. To find the amount of change, I subtract 32 minus 25, and you should have got 7. I put 7 over my original amount, which was 25. And then multiply by 100 to get my percent. So let's see what we get when we do that. 7 divided by 25 gives me my decimal answer. To convert that to a percent, I can multiply by 100. And when I do that, I get 28. So my percent change is 28%. And in this case, my CD collection went up, And so this is a 28% increase of CDs. So that is my final answer.